podcast contain graphic language. What's going on out there, gentlemen? What's going on in the manosphere? You're right here, KDR, aka Kelder Rican Podcast. One of the craziest shit on earth. I'm right here in the Pacific Northwest, podcasting it up all across the globe, from Australia, you name it, fellas. So, if this is your first time on the podcast, guess what? It's a motherfucking shit show. So, enough further ado, let's start with the intro out here, for heaven's sake. But before I start with the intro, let's do this here.
Headshot.
For all those fucking skank ass bitches. So let's go with the intro.
It's getting serious on this track, fam.
Because I respect Kendall Regan. I do. Oh, he's simping for some pussy, bitches. I'll be a simp all day. Fuck you.
All right. Let's settle down out here, gentlemen. Shit. I gotta give a shout out to Big Padre. Big Padre, he wrote in a comment, like, the sound sucks and shit, right? And I don't like to listen to myself talk and stuff like that. And then I have to do a test and shit like that because my stuff is low budget, you know. I ain't no fancy YouTuber, none of that nonsense, right? I'm just out here expressing myself and stuff like that. So, I did a test. I put the headphones and stuff like that. I'm dealing with some cheap ass equipment. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. But it's still, I'm still gonna rock this bad boy. I don't give a fuck, right? So I don't know. Well, you know, and I know that this inflation is out of control. This shit is fucking crazy, you know. And I predicted this shit like 3 years ago. You know, when they start handing out money hand over fist, I say to myself, watch this shit. It's gonna be inflation like a motherfucker. I saw this shit coming, man. I saw it coming. In my 46 years in my life, the government never hand out money hand over fist to everyone. Never in my fucking life. And I'm not an economics or nothing like that. And I'm just a man trying to make sense of the nonsense and bullshit. Because there's a lot of nonsense and bullshit. Right? The good thing that, I'm going to be honest with you, gentlemen. The good thing that I learned about this lockdown, which I wasn't locked down. I was out there producing and shit like that. But the good thing that I learned about this shit, that I took the liberty to take time, it was economics. That's it. Economics. Even though at the age of 18, I had a little idea of economics. I went to, back in the days, you know, they didn't have the internet and shit. They had the internet. They did have the internet, but it's like only people who can very smart with it, and you know. So I went to my local stock market. I forgot the name of that place, man. It's still relevant, right? And I told this gentleman, hey, I got $100 here. Let's put this in a mutual fund. He's like, oh, that's great. You know, mutual fund, blah, blah, blah. So, and then the crash happened in 99. And before the crash happened in 99 with the dot-com bubble, I managed to take that $100 and made it to $500 before it crashed down. I don't know. I needed the money. I'm young and shit, trying to invest and stuff like that. And then since then, I didn't invest shit. Nothing. Until recently. After they shut down the economy. Right? I can give a fuck about. I heard about Bitcoin. I heard about gold. I heard about silver. I know a little bit of things, right? Commodities and shit. To, to me, I was like, I'm not gonna get involved with this bullshit. I just gonna have a little savings here, and that's it, and whatever, right? And I'll spend whatever, right? And it's something I can sell that is mine, right? And that's my mentality. But then, like I said previously, something that opened up my eyes and stuff like that, that it did not make any sense. It was when they shut down the economy, right? And that to me, it was like it was a heads up and did not make any sense at the time. But it did make sense at the time. Meaning, the barbershops are closed, the beauty salons are closed, the strip clubs are closed, everything's closed, but you can go to Walmart, you can go here, you can go there, you can go, different big business, and you have to line up 6 feet and shit. Wear a mask. Go over here. Go over there. Don't look over there. Come over here. Suck you my balls. Lick my ass. Lick my toes. Stay here. Don't go over there. Show me receipts. Shit like that. It's a fucking. I did not participate in this shit, by the way. I didn't. I deal with the Koreans. I deal with different local business. I didn't play this nonsense and bullshit. So, moving forward, as we speak, the last year or so, inflation is out of control. All right? It's out of control. They supply too much money. Too much money out there. Trillions and trillions of fucking money to people. PPP loan, PPE loan, whatever the fuck the loan it is. Shit like that. They provide too much fucking cash and stuff. Unemployment. Motherfuckers sit out there in the house, not working, collecting a check. You got motherfuckers out there who did not pay no rent and shit, all kinds of good stuff. Those folks that retired early, there was like, hey, especially, I got a friend, he retired early. He took the retirement package. He's like 55 or something like that. He's like, I took this shit, Motherfucker retired early and shit. All kinds of stuff took place. So, I went to a rant. My apologies, gentlemen. I went to a rant. It's a rant. That what took place 3 or 4 years ago, right? Moving forward, everything's expensive. The food is expensive. If you travel, the hotels are expensive. Gas. I live in the West Coast. This shit is fucking expensive. Right now, I'm paying $4.55 for a gallon of gas. All right. Give or take another 2 months or 1 month and a half, I'm probably gonna pay like $5.50 easy for a gallon of gas. Because there's taxes and shit like that, right? And I found this article very amusing. Very amusing and fascinating. I did. I read it like 3 4 months ago, but it took place like 8 months ago. And then I'm watching YouTube and somebody mentioned this article that I read like 4 months ago or 3 months ago, right? And I thought to myself, I thought to myself, the audacity, the fucking audacity, right? But but I also found it hilarious. So if you bear with me one second, I want to play you by the New York Post. Uh, Sex workers are complaining because of inflation, and of course, this don't take place in the United States. It take place in out there in Australia. Big shout out to Bayman in Australia, right? But I find it amazing, sex worker, hookers, whores, whatever you call these ladies a night. They've been going on for like thousands of years. But whoever interviewed this bitch, whoever, I'm reading the article and I'm laughing, right? Because whoever interviewed this bitch, she's a whore, and all of a sudden she's an economist overnight. I'm sorry, my apologies. My apologies. From a whore to economist overnight. Inflation's too high. So just excuse me. Just bear with me. Let me see. I love my sound bites. I love my sound bites. So let me put up this article by the New York Post and just give me a chance here. Of course, it went away. What a fucking shit show I'm running here, for heaven's sake. Let's see here. So just bear with me, gentlemen. I'm pulling shit on the internet. You know how this shit is. And let me see here.
Sex workers complain sales are down.
Okay, all right. We got it. It's on deck. I'm gonna play the whole article, and I'll be right back. I gotta take a piss and shit like that. But if you haven't read it or listened to it, whatever, it's by the New York Post, and this took place 8 months ago, August 5th, 2023. So let's play this bad boy here. Let's see what these fucking whores got to say out there in Australia, for heaven's sake. All places Australia. And then after the article is played, I'm gonna bring my own conclusion. What needs to be done out there in Australia, for heaven's sake? Because all these bitches. I'll be quiet. Let me play the article, for heaven's sake.
Grain sales are down as inflation continues to pound the economy. Published by New York Post. Sex sells, but does it when the price of almost everything has gone up? Sex worker Jenna Love is a Sydney, Australia-based escort, and she's currently watching her industry adapt to these strained financial times. When you are a sex worker, you are relying on people having a disposable income, so Ms. Love saw the cost of living crisis coming from a mile away. "We feel the pinch with this stuff quite early on," she said. "There's no denying that plenty of people are financially strapped at the moment." The U.S. also continues to grapple with inflation, with the rate currently at nearly 3%. People are cutting back on expenses, with a recent CNBC and Morning Consult poll finding that 92% of U.S. consumers are spending less. So where does that leave sex workers? If people can't justify mints, can they justify paying for intimacy? The answer is complicated. Ms. Love's unique job gives her insight into the general vibe of wealth in Australia. For instance, she flagged when the building industry was drying up way before anyone was writing about construction companies collapsing. She simply noticed she was booking less appointments with tradies paying in cash. She also flagged early the trend of Gen Z staying at home longer after chatting with her younger clients. People in their 20s, they don't see how they could move out. Given Ms. Love makes a living by dealing with people, and often people at their most vulnerable, she's very aware of how the cost of living is impacting her clients, and therefore her and the sex industry in Australia. Across the broader sex industry, Ms. Love knows from speaking with other sex workers that times are tough, and people aren't making the money they used to. People are pretty worried. If you have regulars, you will get through, but if you aren't established, it's a real struggle, she told news.com.au. The nature of sex work is to make yourself seem desirable and in demand. It's basic marketing, but it means you are never going to see an escort reveal she's having trouble getting enough private bookings to make rent. And that means even when things are tough, the sex industry looks misleadingly glamorous. Lots of people in my industry are struggling at the moment. I speak to women who are getting only one booking a month, she said. You aren't going to put on your marketing that you are doing really poorly. We have got to put out this image that we are really successful. For every OnlyFans success story, Ms. Love knows plenty of sex workers who are currently barely making rent. A spokesman from Scarlet Alliance, the Australian Sex Workers Association sex workers, confirmed that sex workers are feeling the pinch during the cost of living crisis. We face the same inflationary pressures as all other workers, including increasing costs for food, mortgages or rents, electricity, and so on. The spokesman said sex workers are in a more vulnerable position than other Aussie workers. Due to stigma, discrimination, and criminalization in some states and territories, sex workers may find it harder to access government and other supports. We saw this during the COVID-19 response, and we encourage any sex worker doing it tough to get in touch with their local sex worker organization for support and appropriate referrals. Ms. Love explains she's in a lucky position in the industry because she's an established sex worker and has regulars, but even she's noticed a shift in her demand and bookings. Yes, she has her regulars, but some have cut back from coming once a week to once a month or fortnight. There's been a reduction, she tells news.com.au. I used to be heavily booked and have a wait list, and I'm not in that position these days. But I do still have enough bookings. A single hour spent with Ms. Love will set you back $600, $420 United States dollars, but she's not planning to lower her rates. Remember the price of tomatoes? While she understands if clients can't afford to keep visiting her, she's not prepared to lower her costs at a time when all her personal bills are going up. She does offer a cuddles and chat option, which is only $250, $165 United States dollars, per hour, but that service involves no sex. It was an idea that stemmed from the pandemic when she realized how many people were just starved of touch, and something she's kept on as the cost of living pressures increase. It was also in my mind because things were starting to get tough for us all, well, most of us besides the 1%. So does she think sex work is drying up? Well, no. Ms. Love thinks there will always be a demand for intimacy and human connection, but the...
Alright, you heard that fucking whore interview, another fucking whore. I don't know who conducted the interview by the New York Post. It's a real article. Look it up. Sex workers are complaining because of inflation. I don't make shit up. Kendall Regan did not make shit up. It's there. You can look it up for yourself. You can read it. I'm just out here, trying to make sense because the world is upside down, right? The world is upside down. So the only thing I can look at this shit is like hilarious. I found this very funny, comedic. And I'll tell you why. When I read the article, I was laughing my ass off, literally, right? Because I thought it was in the United States because it was I think it was like last year, something like that. They tried to have these sex workers in New Jersey and New York and stuff like that, legalizing shit, which I don't think it should be illegal, right? Motherfuckers want to pay for shit, let them pay for shit. I don't give a fuck, right? But it goes down to And of course, this is Australia out there, right? And it's fucking whores. These whores out there complain about inflation. Miss Love, right? Miss Love, whoever the fuck Miss Love is. Who knows he made up this story. I don't know if it was a real interview. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? But let's put the article out here so let's talk about this shit. Miss Love, for heaven's sake. And she's complaining about inflation and shit like that. Right? And you heard the article. All of a sudden, she said economics. I know friends from the sex workers and these workers, and I'm not doing this and now this bullshit. See, what happened is that when you give the Western skank too much, how you call freedom and shit like that, that's what happens. Especially out there because matter of fact, remember, Australia's not the only place that got sex workers, quote unquote sex workers. Because I lived in Germany and they had the red district in Germany out there. They did. And I was a teenager. As a teenager, you can, in high school, believe it or not, some of my friends, they went out there and fuck whores. Oh yeah, yeah. But anyways, I digress. So these whores, right now, they're complaining about inflation. Just give or take another 5 years. Well, let's not move this forward, okay? See, let me retract my thought. Just bear with me, gentlemen. So these whores are so spoiled, right? Oh, you can call them whores? I supposed to call them what? Sex workers? They whores, for heaven's sake. They whores, they sluts. They suck dick for a living. Get the pussy fucked. What you want to do? Oh, they're sex workers and shit like that. And they need to have Medicare and they have to have this shit. And that. Fuck that shit. They whores. How many of these whores got husband at home? I'm wondering. I'm wondering. I digress. I got triggered. I got triggered, goddammit. Fuck. My collective thought went to hell in a handbasket, man. I was smoking ball and I just went crazy. I just went bananas. I went bananas. So let me get my collective thought. My apologies. So they're complaining about inflation, right? And I'm thinking to myself, this is why I find it hilarious. What about the regular people that just work or have a business or they do stuff in a moral, ethical matter, and for the argument's sake of, let's say people cohabitating or couples cohabitating or couples being married and they got to go to this grind, they have children and stuff like that, they got to deal with a boss, they got to deal with this shit, and I can see these motherfuckers complaining about some fucking inflation. They got a family to feed, they got themselves to feed and stuff like that. You trying to tell me these fucking whores, all they gotta do is suck a dick, get fucked, and they complaining about inflation? Come on, man. Come the fuck on. Come on. That's what I gotta do. Matter of fact, They don't even gotta do that nowadays. You know, you can put shit on the internet and shit like that. If you're a hot chick and stuff like that, you can get fucking thousands of dollars of just showing your pussy, showing your ass, and with OnlyFans and that fan and this website and that website and shit like that. So what these fucking whores are complaining about? See, the problem is the patriarchy is gone. So there's no patriarchy on Western society. And I'm glad that took place in out there in fucking Australia, because they're trying to bring this bullshit out here in the United States. Like I said previously, in New York and New Jersey and shit like that, they want to have legalized sex workers and stuff like that. No, fuck these bitches. They need a fucking pimp as minimum. If I bring the other beefs that I'm going to mention here, game over. Serial killers. What happened to the serial killers? Where they at? I want to know. All these whores walking around the United States selling pussy and shit. There's no serial killers. There's no pimps. You know why there's no pimps, right? I'll tell you why there's no pimps. Because they're going to charge them with human trafficking. So it's very risky business to be a pimp nowadays. And a serial killer, because they're going to find your ass in 2 minutes. They're gone. The patriarchy is gone, my friends. You can have neither the pimps or the serial killers. They will find the serial killer in 0.999 seconds, for heaven's sake. It's so fucked. The game's so fucked. These fucking whores are walking loose on the Western world. They fucking are. Fuck this shit, they are. You don't see these shenanigans out there in the Middle East. You don't see the shenanigans out there in the Middle East and stuff like that, or Eastern European and stuff, brothels and sex workers and none of this bullshit. I don't know if Canada. Does Canada have do they have a red light district out there in Canada? I don't know. I'm wondering. Let me see. Does anybody know if Canada has like a sex worker program out there, whatever the fuck they call them? They call prostitute. I call them whores. That's what I call them. Prostitute. That's a very cute word, prostitute. Yeah, I'm gonna prostitute myself. That's like the leftist language. You know, the leftists are very good at changing shit. Touche, artists. Touche. You know, the leftists are very good. It came from prostitute. My apologies. From whores to prostitute to sex workers. These fucking leftists, they brilliant changing the language. I just put it out here because I'm the common man, you know. Sex workers, prostitution. It's the same bullshit. Same nonsense. They're still selling pussy. Oh, my apologies. It is prostitutes, whores, or sex workers, whatever you want to call it. I call it all three of them. whores, prostitutes, or sex worker. Pick your fucking word. Pick it. I don't give a fuck. They fucked. And another 5 or 10 years. And since they're targeting, you heard the article, the Gen C or Gen Zs and shit like that. I don't even say 5 years. I say maybe 2 or 3 years. Excuse me. They're gonna have these. The sex dolls are already here, right? And they suck. The sex dolls suck. They really do suck. But can you imagine having like a sex bot, which is like sort of like the sex doll, but it can talk to you and stuff like that with AI technology and shit like that, and you can fuck her at the same time and talk to her, and she can give you text message through the internet and stuff like that and shit like that, and show you dude, these fucking whores are fucked. They are fucked. Once upon a time, in the Mgtow philosophy, they used to say the future between man and machine. And if you think about it and reflect it with the Mgtow philosophy, we like years ahead. We like years ahead. Like, when we talk about this stuff and shit like that, the real motherfuckers, we years ahead. We've been predicting this shit for quite some time, you know. But the time is here. It's coming, dude. It's right here, my friends. It is. Is it going to be a good thing for humanity? I don't know. Is it going to be a great time for men? A great time for men? Fuck yeah. For single men? Fuck yeah. They already got the video game. They already got this shit. They already got this stuff and stuff like that. A sex bot that they can play video games and stuff like that, and the internet together, sitting on a couch and shit like that, and talking and stuff like that. The same fucking video game. She don't have to be mobile now, but it's all through the internet. And they can play just like a motherfucker who's play out there. If the motherfuckers in Seattle, the motherfuckers out there in Ukraine or whatever, or Spain or whatever the world with the internet, she'll be able to do that with him, you know, through the internet. But one-on-one connection, you know. It's going to be fucking crazy. But it's understandable. Because for the last 40 years or so, man has been beaten so bad by the government and everything else. So they're gonna have to, or they are not have to. They are finding out a different outlet. Look at Japan. Look at Japan. The population is dying. Why? Because men do not want to procreate with women. They don't want to have children and shit. Look at China. Look at Italy. Look at the United States. The technology is here. Unless some kind of Holocaust, nuclear shit happen on Earth, they destroy the Earth. Otherwise, this technology is going to get advanced and more more advanced, and I can't even explain. I can't even explain how fast and quick this shit's going to develop. But it's here. It is here. I know this for a fact because I'm talking to you from Tacoma, Washington, and you motherfuckers out there in different parts of the United States and the world. So I know this for a fact that the technology is here. It's fucking amazing, dude. Well, you know, when I produce this podcast, I just open up my mind and my thinking and play sound bites and play a little music and shit like that. But it's been a pleasure hanging out with you fellas out here and sharing knowledge and understanding. And you can write comments, you can do whatever the hell you want to do, on this channel. But like I always say, gentlemen, peace. State Mgtow. I will catch you next podcast, live stream, or video. Let the universe be with you.